Hey gang, this is Mike with my real estate dojo. Once upon a time, back in the days, I was just a little peanut and I lived in Iran. I was only yay tall, okay? And one of the very first memories that I remember being young was getting my head shaved to go to school. I had to get it totally shaved like the army. And the reason was that in Iran, at that specific time, there was a war going on with Iran and Iraq. So when we went to school, they basically brainwashed us to become soldiers. So after getting my head shaved, which was a very shocking thing to me, 4 weeks later, I was kicked out of first grade. Come to find out that the reason was my parents were Baha'is and the Iranian government was all ruled by the Muslim government. And since they were not Muslim, my parents could not participate in some of the society events like having a job, their kids going to school. And at the same time, my dad was getting threat letters that they were going to kill him, burn him down, kill his kids. So the second memory I have was me sleeping in the middle of the night, just being, again, a little peanut, and my mom just waking me up and saying, "Hey, we're leaving to Kharaj," which means America. That was just a silent word that people said because you didn't want to tell your friends or family or neighbors that you're leaving to America, because they would rat you out and you would get executed and they would get a reward. So my mom wakes me up in the middle of the night in total darkness, and she says that we're leaving to America, and we don't pack anything. There's no suitcases, there's no luggage, just the clothes we have on our shirt and our back. And we don't tell our friends, we don't tell our family, we don't even get to sell our home. We just leave everything there and we just have to escape. And the way we escape is that my dad pays some coyotes to smuggle us all the way across Pakistan, from Iran to Pakistan, in the rockiest mountains, kind of like this, but in the pitch darkness. And on top of that, if we would got caught by the military or the police, we would have got executed right then and there. Me, my brother, my mom, my dad, everybody, the coyotes. And the way we had to go from Iran to Pakistan was through the mountains in the middle of the night. And it was so dangerous that the coyotes had to turn off their lights on their car so they could not get spotted, even though it was in the middle of the dark night. Okay. Now in this car that we're in, there was at least 10-12 other people piled up in the back of this little van. Okay, and none of us had water, none of us had food, we couldn't even bring any clothes with us, no suitcases, nothing. Okay, and it was very, very scary, ladies and gentlemen. I was just, like you said, just a little peanut, but I remember looking at my mom, my dad, that were scared as hell. Everybody in the van was scared as hell. No one was talking, no one was breathing, and people were just crying. And I remember that the very first time I didn't really understand that my mom explained to me, and I kind of remember I had to give my little bottle, because I had this little bottle that I drink out of water, to this one lady, because she almost died because we didn't have anything in the car, and it was a long drive in hot weather. And if I didn't have this little bottle of water, this lady would have died of hydration because she has so much fear. So anyways, to make the story short, we end up getting to Pakistan, and we live in this little village or town with a bunch of other refugees just like ourselves that had to flee their country because of religious persecution back in Iran. So we're in Pakistan, and one of the few things that I learned, I applied to my business, and I'm helping you in this VA business, and what you get is that I learned how to play chess and I learned how to play backgammon. Even though that I never got to play because my mom and dad wouldn't allow it, I always watched my dad play my uncles and play the other refugees in the village. And what I learned the game by just watching. And when I came to America for the very first time, I played with a couple of American friends. I kicked their ass and they thought they were really, really good. And I realized that, damn, I'm good. I've never even played chess before. The years of watching people play taught me a lot. Some of the things that chess and backgammon taught me is the ability to take risk, the ability to think 10, 20 heads moves ahead, the ability of, winning and losing, and the ability of learning passively from other people, okay, which is very, very powerful. Now let's move a little bit further. When we're in Pakistan, we're dirt poor. Okay, I have a picture on my website where you can see the conditions me and my dad and my brother lived in. But there was this one singer in Pakistan that she was very famous. She was Iranian, and she had a mansion, and what she would do is she would invite all these people to her house. It seems like almost weekly or monthly basis, hundreds of people, and she would feed them. She would give them tea. She would, give them desserts. Hundreds of people, and I was just a little peanut, guys. Okay, and I always thought to myself, what would make somebody invite all these people to their houses, like on a monthly basis, pay for them, clean after them? And I couldn't really understand that, but that resonated in my heart, that a total stranger is willing to take us into their home, sing for us, provide for us, and it really made an impact in my heart. And what that means is I'm going to show you how I transform that into giving you guys in my YouTube channel down the line in further chapters. But what I want to show you right now is the journey that from point A and how I got to America and how I became an entrepreneur, and some of the impacts that changed my life, which helped me become an entrepreneur. And I'm feeding this stuff to you. I'm just going to let you download it so you could have success, because I believe that it doesn't matter what program you go into, what coaching you're going to, or what systems you download. It's not about the systems as much. It's all about you. Okay, and for you to have success, you have to tap into my philosophy, my mindset, because it's the mindset that created the system. Is the mindset that wins. It's not really the systems, okay, guys? And even though I have badass systems in this book that I'm going to reveal to you, but what I want you to really understand is the mindset. What makes me win is the mindset, and I'm going to share with you that information. So now let's move it forward. We're in Pakistan. We're there about a year and a half, 2 years. We're in poverty, extreme hardship. My mom gets malaria. There's tons of toughness, but finally we get good news that our paperwork are getting done, and now it's time to go to Spain so we can come to America. Let me remind you, when we went from Iran to Pakistan, we didn't just go to the airport. We had to sneak with our tail between our legs, not tell our friends or family, not tell anybody, leave everything we had, just leave it there and just leave, right? Now we're in Pakistan. We're going to get an airplane. We're going to go to Spain. We go to Spain. We stay there for a year, 6 months. We finally get our paperwork to come to America, and boom, the next chapter of my life starts. I come to America, guys. Now I'm going to fast forward to junior high. I'm in junior high. We don't have much clothes. My mom and dad work all the time, dude. I have to stay home, and I have to, I don't get to go out and have friends. I have to take care of my brother. I have to do all the house chores. I have to do all the stuff that my mom and dad would do, because they both have to get a job. My mom and dad both don't have high school education. They're both illiterate. They don't even have any education in their own country or here, okay, guys? And so they got to work all the time to provide for us, because they're getting probably minimum hour job. What my dad did is he sold ice cream out of an ice cream truck, Texas weather heat, in the shittiest part in town, in the hood, dude. Homeboy got robbed multiple times, okay? So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that they had to take care of business to provide the bills, which made me grow up a lot faster, which made me to start washing restrooms, taking care of the house inside, growing up my brother, and I never got to have a childhood and go out there and hang out with friends, okay? So let's move it a little bit forward. Now I'm in junior high. I'm getting in fights all the time. I can't get along with kids because I haven't been socialized. It's just kind of like a dog. I never go out. I'm always at home taking care of my brother. So I'm in junior high. I'm getting into fights. I still can't speak English that great, and people are making fun of me. My last name is really long and crazy. I wear the same clothes multiple times throughout the week. It wasn't pretty. I'm getting in fights multiple times. Let's fast forward. I'm in high school now, guys. Now I'm getting into more fights, guys. I am now hanging out with the wrong types of crowd of people, and things are not looking too great for me, dude. Okay, I have no confidence in myself. I am a fucking loser, and the way I get my respect is to pump fear into you, and that's pretty much it, dude. But all of a sudden, the moons and the stars line up for me, and this high school coach recruits me into wrestling. Okay, and thank God for heavens, he changed my life. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. There's not a day that goes by that I don't thank this guy. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here changing your life. So this guy recruits me in wrestling. He takes his time and he pumps into me, dude. Before I know it, I go from being a loser ass kid to a passive leader, dude. And I start excelling like a motherfucker, right? And wrestling taught me was discipline, hard work, never giving up. And what happens is, at the school that I'm at, we have all these state champs in there. We have first place, second place, third place, fourth place. We have all these badass motherfuckers in there, and I'm just a freshman. And for some reason, my coach picks me to be on varsity, dude. I guess he sees things in me. And before I know it, wrestling practice is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And I've done football, and man, wrestling blows football away. And then after practice, you could just rinse your clothes like this, and just water will just pour down, right? But I realize I have a lot of lacks. I have a lot of disabilities. All these other guys are wrestling. They're seniors. They're state placers. They've been wrestling since junior high and high school. And I just started wrestling. So I have all these lacks and disabilities. So what I'm going to do is have sheer power and endurance to overcome them. And I need to have more power because I don't have the skills. I don't have the finesse. So I started learning about bodybuilding. But before I get into bodybuilding, I want to talk about how I became a passive leader and what I learned what a leader was thanks to wrestling. So every day after practice, everybody's tired as fuck. All these seniors, all these state places, they all happy to get the fuck out of here. They're heading home after practice. I know I have all these lacks, and so what I got to do is I got to do practice after practice. So when everybody leaves, we're all tired as fuck. Two and a half hours before the practice, I start doing bleachers. I start doing suicides. And after a couple of weeks, one other guy joins me. After a couple more weeks, two other guys join me. After a couple of weeks, some other guys join me. And before we know it, I have a after practice going on, and I'm the leader of the shit. I'm the freshman, right? I don't know shit, but I'm leading all these fucking seniors, all these state placers. And before the year was out, I got nominated the most achieved of the year, where that trophy usually goes to the seniors that are going to have to graduate. And there was a lot of seniors that were state placers, state champs in my school, but I got that trophy, dude. And what I learned is to be a leader not by forcing or not by fear, but through passive leadership. And that was one of the coolest things. But wrestling and my lacks brought me to something else called Arnold and bodybuilding, which Arnold and bodybuilding and my coach, they both changed my life for so much better. When I was wrestling, I realized that I was very weak in the sense that I didn't have the skills as the other guys did because I was new. So I had to have strength, dude, and I had to have endurance to outblast these guys. So I started working out, dude, and I started reading books. For the very first time in my life, I started reading books. I hated books, dude. In high school, I used to get C's. So let's fast forward a little bit to college. Now, I am in college now. I didn't, want to go to college. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but my parents forced me to go to college. And for my culture, you listen to your parents and you do what they say. So I said, okay. It took me 6 years to go to college. I went from being a C student to almost a 4.0 in college, all because I was studying what I loved. I was studying my passions, guys. And for the very first time ever, I really realized that reading books changes situations. Okay, what do I mean by that? I loved working out. I loved bodybuilding, so I started reading bodybuilding magazines. I start putting my money up. I start reading the Bible supplements. I start buying Bible supplements. I start buying fitness supplements. I start buying fitness books. I start going and reading physics. I start reading biology. I start getting all this stuff so I can learn how the cell works, how ATP works, how lactic acid works, how the pulley system works. So I start learning. And the very first time in my life, I believed that I had to pay and buy something and it could change my life situation. And that's why I'm here to tell you that you got to invest in your mind, dude. If you're not willing to invest in your mind, your probability of success is very little, dude. And I learned that there's a difference between forced education and volunteer education. And I hated forced education. I hated learning shit I didn't want to learn. But when I want to learn something myself, and I went to the library, I went to the store to get the book, and nobody told me to do it, I excelled at it. I was the best of the best at it. I couldn't wait to read more. I couldn't wait to go to the gym and apply what I read. So now I'm in college, and meanwhile, I've started to learn outsourcing to VAs in India and Pakistan, because when I was in high school, I started working at 24 Hour Fitness, and I realized that I could make money doing personal training. So fast forward to college, I created a website. I had set up accounts to be a supplement distributor. So I was doing personal training and I was doing supplements to pay for myself through college. Not making a lot of money because I had to spend so much time studying all these hard classes that I signed up for, like physics, physics 2, chemistry, organic chemistry, all the tough shit that people run away from. I was studying that because I saw the value of chemistry into fitness, and I saw the value of physics into fitness. So moving it forward, alright guys, so moving it forward, now I'm in college. I've created a website. I've learned how to outsource with VAs in India and Pakistan, and I'm doing a little personal training, and I'm doing to pay the bills, and I'm working on getting my degree. And in a couple of weeks, my college degree is going to come to an end. And I remember scraping money to get my cap and gown, and I'm sitting in the ceremony of my graduation day now, and it was the most depressing day of my life. I was thinking to myself, oh my God, I have so much student debt. I got into 6 years of school. I don't have a job. I don't have a career. What the fuck I'm going to do next? And it was right about the guy saying, throw your hat up. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I just paid so much money for this hat. I can't even afford to throw it up because I want to keep it and I might not find it. So I didn't throw my hat up. So graduation was finished. I went back from Denton to Dallas to go live with my parents. And I couldn't live with my parents, guys. They were just so negative, telling me I should be a doctor, I should go this, my cousin is doing this, my other cousin is doing this, I'm the biggest loser, and just pumping me all this negativity, right? And what I wanted to do, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't want to fucking have a job. I didn't want to get a job in the cubicle. I didn't want to sit in traffic. I didn't want to have some boss tell me what to do. I couldn't take working for people. How did I know? My very first job in high school, I worked at a car wash place called Mighty T Car Wash. And even though I accelerated significantly in that job positioning in like 4 to 6 weeks, even though I got significant raises and the management and the owners praised me and they loved me, even though I was in just junior high and high school, I learned from that job that I hated fucking working for people. I hated people telling me what to do. I hated dealing with stupid ass customers that made me feel like I'm a slave. Okay? I hated not being able to take the breaks whenever I want. So that was my very first job, and I told myself I'm never, ever, ever going to work for somebody. So now I graduated college, and I'm back at home, and my parents want me to go to medical school, get into debt, another couple of $100,000, which I didn't want to do, and I didn't want to go to medical school. So I decided, you know what the best bet is? I'm fucking crazy. I'm nut. I'm just going to move into my car, dude. Okay? And I'm going to pursue my dreams. I don't know what business I'm going to do. I don't know none of this stuff. So one day I go to the gym, and one of my buddies gives me this burnt CD called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I take it home. I'm in in my home at this time is in my Jeep, and I live off this, this hill. And at nighttime, I'm crying myself to sleep, and I say, you know what, let me listen to this fucking book, dude, because at this time, I don't believe in reading besides fitness and bodybuilding and supplements, so I never read anything else besides that kind of stuff, how to work out. But self-improvement, business, what the hell, let me put it, I don't have nothing else to do, I don't have no TV, I have no internet, I'm scared, it's dark as fuck out there, it's scary out there, so I put this fucking CD in, and I started listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad talk about the cash flow quadrant, talk about, the liabilities versus assets, and it instantly dawns on me that, hey, I am not fucking crazy. I'm not insane, and that my mom and dad are crazy, that they want me to get into debt, they want me to go work in a cubicle, have a boss, and I quickly realized that I am not crazy. I'm the elite, and there's other people like that, very few and apart like that, like Rich Dad Poor Dad. Thank you, Rich Dad Poor Dad, for changing my life. I know we're gonna meet one day, and thank you so much. You really impacted me. So anyways, I read that book. I learned I wasn't crazy, so I decided that I'm going to pursue this, and I didn't want to get a job. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what business I was going to do. I phoned my cousin. My cousin had just married into a wife that her parents were rich, and they had a business that just handed down to him, and it was in Houston, just starting that business off at a ground zero with the infrastructure and all the things his mother-in-law just gifted him because he married, right? So I called him up and I said, hey dude, do you need any help? He said, you know what, I sure do. I need a helper to do moves. I said, you know what, this is better than working for the man. I could work for you, you're my cousin. So I drew from Dallas all the way to Houston. I started doing moves. 7 days a week we did moves, guys. We did 3 moves a day. We would wake up like 5:30 in the morning. We had to be at the office at 6:30. We had to be at the customer's house at 7:30. And we'll end up doing moves to like 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. 200 job got done, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? In Texas, Houston, humid weather. Okay? 3, 4 moves a day. When we would come home, we would be so tired, so bruised up. My cousin would get on the couch with his girlfriend. They would pop a Corona and watch some TV. Okay? What I would do is I would get in front of this fucking little personal computer back then, and because nobody really used it, and dial into the dial-up and get on the internet. The internet had just came out, guys. There was only 2 providers, AOL and Net Zero. I don't know if you guys remember Net Zero. They used to give you the CDs at the mall when you went there. I don't know if you guys remember dial when it that kind of noise. So anyways, my cousins would drink beer after the moves, after a hard slave work day with his wife. I was sitting in front of the computer. I knew I didn't want to be a fucking mover. I didn't want to be a slave. I had a college degree. My cousin didn't have a college degree, but he owned the business already, dude, because he married right. I didn't want to be a fucking slave, and I didn't want to have a job. I knew I was worth more than this shit. That's why my parents came to America, dude. I didn't want to let them down. I didn't want to let me down. Okay? So every day I was thinking, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Or every night I would be thinking, because all day I was doing moves. Dude, but I could generate leads and give it to my cousin. And the reason I had that idea is because I had already started generating leads for my own personal training business in high school and college. Now, I decided not to do the personal training business because Rich Dad was talking about the cash flow quadrant, and personal training would fit in the S quadrant, and I understood that I couldn't really have financial freedom and have time freedom if I was in the S quadrant. And what I wanted to do is to be in the B and the I quadrant. Okay, and so that's why I didn't pursue my personal training business. But when I went to work with my cousin, I really realized the moving industry is not like personal training. That everybody and their mama has to move. I don't care if you're poor, I don't care if you're rich, I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're fat, if you're skinny. You gotta move, dude. If you live in an apartment, you're moving usually every year. If you have a house, you're moving every few years. And that's the end of the story. In America, everybody moves, dude, right? And so it's not like personal training where everybody wants to get fit. 50% of people are obese, but they're not going to pay for it. They're not going to work hard for it. I quickly realized that the moving industry is like shaving. Everybody needs it, men and women. And I came up with an idea where I could provide my cousin with leads and make him a lot of money. Because his mother-in-law, they had like Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Dallas. So they had the whole area already covered. And all I had to do was just give them a bunch of leads. And I thought that we were going to make a lot of money. So to my sad notice I presented the idea to my cousin. He turned me down. I'm not sure if he turned me down because his mind didn't understand internet, because it's pretty new back then, guys. Nobody had emails. We're on dial-up. Or he just turned me down because I was his cousin. I'm not sure. I didn't let it bother me. I went and did moves. When we came back at nighttime, they used to drink their Corona, watch TV. I get on that fucking computer, dial up, and start working. I made a mock-up. A couple of days went by, I made a mock-up, and I presented it to him again. I said, look, dude, this is the way it's going to work. This is the website. It's going to be called Look for Movers, and we're going to have two types of customers. We're going to have the service providers, and we're going to have the customers. The service providers are going to get leads from us for a fraction of the dollar because they don't have to pay the cost of Yellow Pages. If you never advertise on Yellow Pages, it costs a lot of money. Back then, there was no Google, no online internet, no Uber, no Craigslist, none of that crap, right? And so the service providers were just going to be my cousin and his family business only. But the way we're going to pitch it to the customers is that, which is our second customer, is the people that are moving, that says, hey, if you submit a lead on our website, Look for Movers, we'll have all these service providers bid for you, compete for your business, so you'll save thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars. This is an ingenious idea. So my idea was in the very beginning that we will tell the customers that we'll have all these moving companies bid for them, but it would only just go to my cousin's moving company, okay? So I presented the mock-up to my cousin. I begged him, please, please. He said no. I said, come on, dude, this is going to make us rich. I'm going to bring you 50 leads in all 50 states. He said no. I said, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm not going to be a mover, dude. I knew this idea was good. So I left Houston. I head on back to Dallas. I stood living in my car. I instantly roll up my sleeve and I get into outsourcing to a VA in India and Pakistan to make me my website and get the hosting done. 4 weeks later, I'm driving to the gym because I'm still homeless. I shower in the gyms. I'm hitting 24-hour fitness, and boom, I got a text message with the lead, because back then I learned how to program when you send emails to your cell phone via text message. But nobody even thought about that before. I instantly got a lead. I'm like, oh shit! I pull to the right. I look to the right, and there's a moving company right there. I hose this guy down. Like, come on, man, pull over, dude, pull over. I'm honking and shit. So the guy pulls over with this big old rig, with a big old truck behind him. And I tell him, hey, I don't remember the guy's name. I think Manuel or Jose. I say, hey, man, I got a lead. He don't know what a lead is, because again, we're internet is so fucking new, guys. And I tell him, look, dude, here's your customer. They want to move from this part of town to this part of town. Please give him a call. I don't know why he did it, because it was a little Jose guy. Didn't speak that great English, but he did it. He had faith, right? He did it, and he got the move. 2 days later, a day later, I don't remember, I give him a call, and I say, hey, buddy. I think his name was Jose. I said, Jose, did you get that customer? He said, yeah. I said, hey, man, I got more fucking leads. Do you want them? And little Jose said, hell yeah, he wants them. I said, okay, dude, just give me $100 a month. He said, no problem, man, no problem. I said, okay, no problem, dude. I started giving him the leads. Then I start thinking, well, that's one company. What if I added 4 more? So I called other companies. Guess what? Nobody wanted the leads either, because they didn't understand internet. I said, look, X company, Y company, why don't I give you a couple of leads for free? Again, here's the idea of working for free, dude. I'm trying to tell you my life story so I can give you the alchemy formula down the line. I'm going to explain to you in the rest of the chapter. So I started giving the leads for free for next company, and after they booked those customers, I called them back, said, was that good? They said, yes. I said, $100 a month, deal? They said, deal. Before I knew it, I had 5 companies give me $100 a month, which is $500. Then I had 10 customers moving companies give me $100 a month, which is $1,000. A couple of months went by, I'm making money, but not enough money. My servers cost like $400 or $500. IT support costs a lot of money. I wasn't making no money. I'm just barely breaking even, but I'm happy that I have a business life. One day I get enough balls to just pick up one of these leads and call them. Now let me remind you, I don't know how to fucking give a moving estimate. I don't know how to answer the phone. I don't even know the moving industry, dude. All I do know is to be a helper and wrap the furniture and move heavy furniture. I don't know anything. I don't have a contract. I don't have a truck. I don't have shit. I don't have dollies. I don't have shrink wrap. I don't have pads. I don't have helper. I don't have nothing. No logo, no website, nothing, dude. So I just pick up one of these leads one day and I call it, and it was an omen, dude. It was a $1,200 move. I rented a truck, I got a helper, and that idea right, and turned to a multi-million-dollar business that I was in business for 14, 15 years and had 7 trucks. I had a debt-free business. I paid for all my trucks, all my equipment with cash money, never put it on credit card, never went to a bank, didn't even have a business plan. But one thing I did have is the alchemy formula, which I'll show you down the line. So this is how I became an entrepreneur. Now I explained to you guys how I was a refugee and how I came to America, and I explained to you my difficulties growing up as a kid without guidance because my parents worked so hard, and the troubles that I went through, to finding a coach, a real coach that changed my life, which then helped me to find another passion, bodybuilding, and having another hero like Arnold that changed my life with books, okay, through learning, through now graduating college and starting a business, living out of my car with $100, no support, no family, no friends. All my friends were laughing at me when I told them I'm gonna start a business. All my mom and dad were telling me that I was fucking crazy. It's literally telling me I was fucking crazy. I had to live in my car because I had to isolate myself from that negativity because I believed in myself. Okay. Now Mark Twain says something very, very smart. He says that if you want to have success, you gotta have confidence and you gotta have ignorance. So let me say that again, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to have success, you got to have confidence and you have to have ignorance. And let me give you a quick example. When I decided to live in my car and out of college, I had confidence. I knew I was going to be a fucking entrepreneur. I didn't even know what kind of business I was going to do. I had no idea. But I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. I knew I was going to be the boss of myself. No one's going to tell me what to do. At the same time, number 2, I was fucking ignorant, dude. I didn't know how hard it was going to be. I didn't know I had to have all the skills. I didn't know I had to have all this training. I didn't know I needed contracts, I needed attorneys, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. I didn't know any of that, dude. I was ignorant. So guess what? Guess what? And I'll tell you in my books a little bit later in the other chapters. The more you learn, the more fear you have, which doesn't allow you to take action, guys. Okay? So again, the more you learn, the more fear you have, therefore you don't take action. And you can't have success if you don't have ignorance. So the more education you get, you can't have success because you come up with, what if this happens, what if this happens, what if this happens, okay? So guys, now I just did a run through an intro about my life, and now we're going to go to the next chapters where I'm going to help transform the information that I learned from my life and just feed it into you. The next chapter is going to be my philosophy, my mindset, which is the most important thing for success. That's why when a refugee comes to America or an immigrant comes to America, they're 4 times more likely to become a millionaire versus an American that was born here, even though I have all the resources here, okay? So even though my systems, my VA system is so important, my mindset, getting to rub your elbows or your mind with my mind is your key for success in your business. Doesn't matter if you have a credit card business, credit repair business, you buy houses, you're a realtor, you own a pizza business, you own a photography business, you own a salon, it does not matter. If you want to have success in America, okay, I talk about the new currency a little bit later on. You just need the new currency and you need to have confidence. And you gotta be ignorant, dude. Don't get too much education because the more you learn, the more you see why you're not gonna be able to make it, guys.